Alright. See what my fortune is. Says, patience is the secret to a joyful mind. That's not really a fortune, but okay. Oh. Come on. Hey y'all, how about that clip of the VP of Campbell's saying racist stuff and talking about how bad their product was? Well, I mean, I think we all know that pretty much every CEO and politician says this. It's just nice having an audio file. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and that was real classy. When the guy tried to report it to y'all, y'all didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, you fired him. But, you know, then once it got out, you said, we're taking this very seriously. So now you're doing it. There's no integrity, man. Guys, we've got to give 6-7 a break, okay? My first period teacher cannot get a break. Okay, I was in class the other day, and then we were doing this, like, guided test, and there were a ton of questions on it, and I needed her to repeat questions 6 and 7, but it wasn't a joke. I legitimately needed her to repeat them. So then I say, hey, can you repeat questions 7 and 6? And then she does, and then she tells me, thank you for saying that backwards. And then the entire back left of the class goes 6, 7. And then later on in the same class, she says, we're doing a timed assignment. She says, we have 6 or 7 minutes left. And she was like, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. And then the whole class goes 6, 7. And then she told me a story where we were having a job fair. And she said, 6 or 7 of my students have not gone back from class. And everyone said 6, 7. Guys, ChatGPT's got to stop. Alright, the other day, my school's having a science fair, and they had tons of, the boards, right? And there was one where they're trying to determine, depending on what kind of mint you put in a soda, how much it will erupt. And that's a pretty interesting assignment, right? And on the board, they had, like, different headers, right? And they had a header for conclusion. And if you read that, it would tell you the definition of the word conclusion. So they clearly just put it in ChatGPT, didn't bother to read any of it, and just stuck that and made that their assignment. I'm surprised they even got, like, showcased. Like, come on, man. Come on. Y'all, I just heard about what's going on Twitter, where they added a new feature where it can show you where the account's from, and a ton of political accounts that said they were based in the USA got exposed as being from Middle Eastern countries. And first off, why wasn't this a feature in the first place? Like, places like YouTube and Facebook already do this. And secondly, are y'all really surprised? Like, I thought that was, like, the unspoken truth, that most of these accounts are either just bots or they're, like, Middle Eastern content farms. Like, I don't know why we're shocked by this. Oh, and by the way, that screenshot saying the Homeland Security accounts from Israel, first off, funny as shit, but it's fake, unfortunately. Guys, I just remembered something kind of funny. So I remember I was listening to one of those radio shows one time, those AM radio shows, or like a talk show. And I remember they were calling in for like questions, what I'm talking about, where you win money if you answer a quiz. And they asked, what's the name of Mickey's dog? And the poor guy answering said, well, there's Pluto and Goofy, though I'm not sure Goofy's a dog. Yeah, I think you overthunk that one just a little. Hey guys, it's really windy out right now. But I recently made a short about the whole Twitter region situation, but I want to give further thoughts on it. A lot of people have talked about the bot problem on Twitter and the political bot farming problem, but I think it stems from a bigger problem, which, why do you think that they are specifically about American politics? You don't hear about these types of rifting farmers in other countries. It's because people in other countries are smart. They know how gullible we are. We are very impressionable. especially on social media, and they know that, and they know how to take advantage of it. So when you change the way you act, you kill the problem at its root. So I think people, hopefully this will be a wake-up call for people to be more careful about who they follow on Twitter and have more literacy. Hey, did y'all hear about Amazon's gonna start doing AI for dubs? Yep, they're using generative AI to dub all their shows. They're starting with anime. And I know what some people might be saying, well, it's just dubs. No, that's what they want you to say. Okay, you know the thing where a frog, if you put it in water and you slowly turn the heat up, it'll boil itself alive? That's what they're doing. They started out with print ads, and then they moved to commercials, and now they're moving to dubs. And soon, I bet you they are going to be doing the actual original voice acting with AI. Okay, we need to stop this. Guys, can I tell y'all something? Sorry. The other day, I was in a Chick-fil-A, and I was about to use the bathroom stall, and there was like one of those big like wheelchair accessible stalls, right? And I was about to walk into it, but there's a guy in there. I end up walking all the way in because this guy is the loudest pisser there is. And he left the door open, and I stand by like, okay, are we letting this happen right now? He walks out of the bathroom. He's not an old man. He's like a 30-year-old. He's a very clean-cut man, and he walks straight out. Doesn't wash his hands. I mean, look, at least he wasn't an employee, okay? Guys, we're planning to go see Zootopia soon. I would just like to give some thoughts on it before I watch it. I might make another one after I do. So it's complicated because I'm excited to go see it, but I'm not confident that it'll be quality because I just think the original Zootopia, you know, it was like, it had a lot to say, it had a lot of artistic merit, like it was sort of like a take on like racism and stuff like that. And I think regardless of how you think it was tackled, I think it had a lot to say. But this new one, judging by the trailers I've seen, just seems like it's going to water that down. But we'll have to see. Guys, today was absolutely insane because I was going into my second period classroom, and you want to know what happened? The room flooded. The room flooded last night because this has been a ongoing issue ever since we entered second period. The roof has been leaking. There's this one spot where the roof is leaking. We had to put a trash can in the middle of the room to stop it from leaking on the floor. And the school will not do anything about it. Like, they eventually, after we complained enough, they ended up, like, putting, like, a little thing in the roof. I'm not sure what they did, but they didn't do enough because we had a huge storm last night, and the room flooded. Like, a ton of textbooks were ruined, like absolutely ruined, and we couldn't do class in the room. We had to go to the JROTC room, and I don't want to go to the JROTC. Guys, I pissed so many people off a few days ago, so I was on my way to my fourth period classroom, and where the building is, where I'm on my way to, is a bit of a bottleneck. Like, there's the two metal doors that are hanging open, and people walk through them. It's a pretty densely packed area. And I'm walking through, and right in the doorway, I look down, and I see a penny. And completely instinctively, without thinking at all about what will happen if I do this, I bend over and pick up the penny in the middle of the walkway. And I stop a ton of people in their tracks. This is like brake checking someone in a road. And everyone is so pissed off. When I get to class, one of the dudes tell me, dude, was that penny worth it? And he was being funny, but some of the dudes were, like, legitimately pissed off. Okay? Okay, guys, I've seen Spotify Wrapped going viral recently. I don't have Spotify. I use YouTube Music. But my friends were talking about their Spotify Wraps. And after they said this, it's like it summoned like a ton of other things. Everyone else around me started talking about it, and I started getting more recommendations about it. So here's what I want to say. First off, the age rating is broken. One of my friends got 47, and his top 5 genres were, I think, trap, alternative rock, bedroom pop, reggae, and one other thing, which are not the type of things 47-year-olds listen to. Then my teacher gets rated 60, which she's not 60, despite the fact her music is like electronica and Daft Punk, mostly because her son. So, yeah, that age rating is broken. Guys, 6'7" needs to stop. Alright, I was in class the other day, and people from a credit union were invited over to teach us about credit scores and stuff like that. And we're doing this activity where we were given this list on the board of credit scores, and we could click on the score and it would give us a scenario. We'd have to guess if it dropped, raised, or stayed the same. One of the credit scores was 670, and the person who was up there read it out as 670, and I was like, and she was like, listen, my kids have all said it. Okay, I didn't say it. I said, yes, you did. You need to be more careful. And I'm surprised no one else did. I heard people go like, but I was sitting up front, by the way. I was like, ma'am, you need to be careful in this day and age. Guys, me and my family went to Dollywood recently, and we witnessed someone run a red light. Okay, I'm not kidding. So we were at this like 4-way intersection, and we were facing like forward. I guess from our perspective we were, but the person right besides us, like we were waiting it'd been about 5 seconds since the light turns red, and the person besides us books it across the intersection, and immediately they get pulled over because a cop was right in front of them. And we see him get pulled over at this gas station, and I'm like, dude, what did you think you do when a cop isn't there? Do y'all want to know something annoying that happened to me yesterday? Yesterday, I had a meeting. I'm not going to say for what, but it was for something important. So, I'm at the building. I'm at the school. Okay, that's at school. I go to one side of the school where I think the room is. It's room 57. I need to get to room 57. I go to over there, and I'm like, I don't see it. And I asked the teacher, hey, where's room 57? Oh, I think it's on the other side of the building. Because you see, what happened is the school rooms are in the order they were added. And our school added a building on one side back in the 80s and another building on the other side after that. So now 50s are on one side. Okay, so I run back across the school over there, and I go to the room. I ask her, hey, is the meeting here today? The meeting had been canceled. Guys, I think my teacher just ruined Baby It's Cold Outside for me. So I was at my school, and I've been asking a lot of people, what's your least favorite Christmas song? And I asked her, and she says Baby It's Cold Outside. I'm like, that's a bit of an odd choice. And she said, no, it's creepy as heck. And I'm like, you know, I guess I never did pay that much attention to it. And then I read the lyrics, and I'm like, I completely see what she's talking about. Like, yeah, he's very pushy, isn't he? And also, like, there's that one part where she's like, what's in my drink? I'm like, oh my god. Like, but as a kid, I never interpreted it like that. Like, when I was a kid, I thought that it was like comic relief. Like, she liked the drink so much, she was like, hey, what's in this drink? But, you know, now it's not the first thing that comes to mind. Oh gosh. Guys, recently I just saw that there have been an increasing amount of companies making AI advertisements. I saw Coca-Cola just did one. They did one last year too, but they're doing one this year as well. And McDonald's, or specifically the Netherlands region of McDonald's, just did one. Y'all can look it up. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's very odd, because I feel like part of it is like pushing the boundaries thing. Like, because Christmas is during the time where, like, most people see the ads. It's, like, the biggest ad spot of the year. So putting AI into there is, like, trying to, like, make it more normalized, which is very insidious, but also very clever, as much as I dislike AI. But something I wanted to say is that McDonald's, the people who made the McDonald's ad, like, made a statement talking about how hard it was to generate the ad. And this has been like an increasing sentiment I've seen among AI bros saying, like, obviously AI is not difficult, but like all the AI bros are saying, well, no, actually AI is really hard to make. As a matter of fact, I dare say it's harder than actual stuff, which I always thought that like argument was so stupid. Because wasn't the whole point of AI originally is that it was super easy and cheap? Because you're certainly not doing it for its looks. It looks horrible, at least right now. So why else would you do that if it's hard? Because then that just defeats the whole purpose of even doing AI in the first place.
What's up, guys? It's Panic Attack here. So recently I got this comment comparing me to some other YouTuber named Charlie. I didn't really know who that was, but through some digging I managed to find out that his username is PenguinZ0. And personally, I don't see a resemblance at all. I think I just don't see it.
Guys, I'm incredibly late to this, but did anyone else see the lady who just tried to ban gay marriage? Like, she was like a pastor from Kentucky, and straight up, if you see pictures of her, she looks like the type of person who would do something like that. But she became famous specifically for rejecting gay marriage, even though it was legal, and it got so bad that Kentucky changed the law so they could do it without her signature. And recently, she got fed up with it and tried to propose a bill where she had the goal to say she was being discriminated against, and that she was being discriminated against over her religion. So that is how deranged some of these fuckers are. Okay, guys, recently my school had a spirit week. If you don't know what spirit week is, it is where for each day of the week you dress a certain way to show your school spirit. Now, it's a Christmas themed spirit week, so for each day we had to do something Christmas themed. For one of them, we had to wear an ugly sweater. And I know nothing about ugly sweaters, so my mom suggested me some, and some of them were jokes, and one of them was this sweater that says, Epstein didn't kill himself. What ended up happening is I did not get that one, it was a joke, I got this other one. But I went up to the school principal, showed it to her, and asked her, I have a question, if I were to wear this sweater to school for today's Spirit Week, what would you think? And you know what she told me? She said, I would find your dad, and I would ask him, why did you let him wear your sweater to school? Which is hilarious, because my dad would never wear anything like this. I mean, if I'm being honest, I need to swear just for myself, not even to wear it to school, you know what I mean? Like, guys, what the fuck? What do you mean I look like Charlie Kirk? Okay, when you said that, when you commented that, I thought you meant I looked like PenguinZ0. Okay, I even made a whole skit pretending to be him. Okay, as a joke. And then I saw someone else commented, and I'm like, they don't mean Kirk, do they? They don't mean Kirk, do they? Does any white guy with black hair look like Charlie Kirk? I look nothing like that man. Okay, look, I got a picture. I'm gonna put a picture up here. Okay, this is me. This is him. Okay, now listen, if you went out in public, okay, and if I went out in public, if you went out in public and saw me, would you say, that kind of looks like that guy? No, you wouldn't. For one thing, my jawline is way narrower than his is. And secondly, he's wearing a suit. I'd never wear a suit. I would never wear a suit, especially not one with a red tie. What the heck? Hey y'all, now this is too funny. Recently there was a situation in South Carolina where one city had a pumpkin carving contest. And there has been a huge controversy over it because the winning pumpkin had a cross on it. Now I was thinking, well, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, right? That was until I saw the other two pumpkins. So, this is third place. Okay, this is second place. They're both pretty good, I feel like. The third place one is like this crazy intricate, I could never, and if it's glowing up, it's going to look like the iris, or not the iris, the pupils glowing. And the other one you need to get stitching for, so that's really creative, very resourceful. And this is first place. Okay, okay, y'all. I hear what you're saying. It's rigged, you know, all that, and, you know, I get it, but calm down. It's not rigged. Basically, the voting happens through Facebook, and we all know what kind of people frequent Facebook. So, just it's sort of frustrating. I mean, if I were them, if I were one of the people who made those pumpkins, I would be so angry. I would be so pissed off that a fucking, like, it's not even a good cross. If it were a good cross, I could, like, excuse it, but I could recreate this pumpkin in, like, a minute. Like, 2 minutes tops. This is ridiculous, but at the end of the day, there's not much you can do. The people have spoken. I embarrassed myself so bad yesterday. Yesterday, I was in class, and I was on my way to my first period. And I noticed when I got there, I was like, the back of my pants were wet. And I was like, why are the back of my pants wet? That's weird, okay. Then after that, I realized my book bag was dripping Dr. Pepper. Because my Dr. Pepper, I had not screwed the lid on all the way, so it was leaking out. I had to take everything out and turn it upside down to get the Dr. Pepper out. Guys, I ranted about ChatGPT the other day. My mom is obsessed with ChatGPT. Okay, she was putting our family photos through ChatGPT to, like, change color of our clothes to match fall colors. And she kept telling it not to change our faces, right? Now, I can't show everyone else, but I'm going to show you what mine looks like. Look, this thing gentrified me, okay? This thing, like, I look like someone who would sell car insurance. And I have this weird elf ear sticking out. I look inbred, okay? This just... Hey guys, so, now, a while ago, I made a short where my mom tried to make ChatGPT change her clothes, but it made my face look horrible, okay? And I had a little update to that video. It's in the related videos if you want to watch it. My mom messed around and tried to make us look like anime. And look, these are the results. This one looks more like me than the other one. Okay, how does that work? Like, look at this. And now look at this. Which one looks more like this? Okay? How's that happen? Hey guys, I just want to tell you something funny that happened over Thanksgiving. So over Thanksgiving, our family was having homemade macaroni, which, is the best. It's a Thanksgiving staple. You've got to have it. But the problem with making macaroni and food like that in our house is we freeze them when we're done with them, the leftovers, and put them in, glassware and stuff like that. And whenever it gets too old, we have to go dump it out by the tree line. And that's usually my job. So I usually dump it out in the back. And usually I have something to scrape it off with. And I had to go get rid of the macaroni. Well, the macaroni was super frozen. Like, I did not anticipate how frozen it was. Like, it wouldn't dump out. Usually I just turn it upside down and shake it a bit. And usually that makes it all come out. But in this case, it wouldn't come out. So I went back, I got a spatula, and I was trying to scrape the macaroni out with it. But, like, it was all in one piece, so I had to use it as, like, a leverage to, like, get it out. And it broke the spatula. The type of spatula we have, it was like a spatula where, like, the handle's wooden, and the actual thing is, like, the edge of it's, like, rubber. So that's why it broke off. But I could not believe how frozen this macaroni was. Like, it didn't even make sense. After that, I ended up I just did it with my bare hands. After that, I just scraped the macaroni out with my bare hands. Because you have to keep in mind, it's cold. It's pitch black because I'm doing this at night. I just used my bare hands to scrape the macaroni out and just called it a day. I just could not believe how frozen the macaroni was. It happened over the course of Thanksgiving. It happened the day after Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure. Guys, I need to say something. I know Thanksgiving is over, but over the course of our Thanksgiving, something happened that blew me away. So our school was doing a special Thanksgiving Day, like feast, where they had some Thanksgiving items. And I guess our school was severely under budgeted because they did not have macaroni. Now, usually my school serves macaroni. I think it's every other Wednesday. I think they changed it to Thursday. It's been inconsistent lately. But I like their macaroni. And I expected for them to have this macaroni on the Thanksgiving Day, and they didn't have it. And they were missing a lot of things. They didn't have turkey, which I guess makes sense because how are you going to cook a turkey in a school? But I cannot believe they did not have macaroni. You cannot have a Thanksgiving feast without macaroni. Guys, any of y'all who think that you're sneaking your phone out of the pockets in your classrooms and you think you're being smooth, you're not. Okay? I don't support this new phone rule. There's this new phone rule where you have to put your phones in the pockets and you can get, like, arrested or something. I don't know. But basically, what's happened in my class in 4th period recently, there's this one kid who put his phone case in the phone pocket, and the teacher called him out on it. She was like, hey, that's not your phone. And he said, yeah, it is. And then she was like, she let it slide for a bit, but then later throughout the class, I guess she saw him on it and was like, get off your phone and put it in the case. And he was like, my phone is in the case. And then he goes over to the thing and he lifts the phone case out of the pocket and his fingers are going through the camera hole. This kid. Guys, do you know something I hate? When you're trying to find someone and people keep leading you on. A few days ago, I was trying to find the gym teacher, right? Okay? So I go into the gym class. I see this lady. She looks like a teacher. I ask her, hey, do you know where the coach is? And she says, oh, I think he's out there in the field house. I go to the field house. There's no one in the field house except for these 2 random students. I asked, hey, do you know where the coach is? And they say, oh, he might be behind this door. I knock on the door. No one comes out. They say, he may be in the weightlifting room. I go to the weightlifting room, right? And I ask one of the students, hey, do you know where the coach is? And she says, oh, he's off campus right now. He'll be back soon. Guys, I have a question that I've been asking many people for a while now, and I want to know what y'all think. Which of the Grinches, if the 3 Grinches, the original, the Jim Carrey one, and the Illumination one, got in a fight, who would win? Okay? Now, in my opinion, I think the Jim Carrey one would win. And that's what most people who I ask seem to say. I think I know the Illumination one would get his ass kicked. He would get his ass handed to him. Though I did have one kid who said he would win because he's the youngest, which I guess I didn't consider, like, aging, like, assuming their ages are corrected. The old one is probably in a wheelchair, and Jim Carrey probably has, like, arthritis or something. But no, man, I still think the Jim Carrey one will win. That guy is a maniac. Okay, y'all, I gotta rant about something random real quick. So, our school... Now, I'm very particular about my hair. Okay, my hair is one, like, I want my hair to be a very specific way. And our school bathrooms don't have mirrors in them. So if I want to fix my hair, I can't do it. Well, why don't our school bathrooms have mirrors in them? All the boys at my school vandalized the mirrors. They kept breaking the mirrors, so eventually the school took them out. And you know what the worst part is? The girls' bathroom still has mirrors. I heard from someone else, the girls' bathroom still has mirrors. And our bathrooms don't have mirrors. Guys, what is going on in Amazon headquarters? I'm going to tell y'all a story. One time, my family was ordering some onesies, right? We were ordering them from Amazon. When we finally got them, we got a big box. Like, a box so big, like, I could probably curl up and fit in it. And this one little, like... It's like this cardboard, like, pager or something. I don't know. It's like this little package thing. We opened the box. It had a bunch of, like, cardboard scraps in it and 3 of the onesies. And when we opened the other cardboard pager, it had 1 onesie in it. Even though you could probably fit all 4 onesies in the pager, but it was just such a waste of cardboard. Look, I'm sure there's a good explanation for this, like behind the scenes, like maybe they were out, but I mean, that's just so wasteful, man. Guys, yesterday, or not yesterday, but a few days ago, I was at school and I found a vape pen in the bathroom. It was just in there floating in the toilet. It was like one of those, I read the box, it was one of these peach flavored ones that said it was disposable. I guess they were doing that thing where you're like flush them down the toilet to get rid of them. But they didn't, they just left it floating in there. And I'm like, dude, listen, you shouldn't be vaping. Especially not on school premises. But if you're going to, can you do it right? Okay, like, can you just, like, I don't want to know about your business. Can you, like, just flush it down? Okay, if you really have to. I did end up reporting it to the school, and it was awful. And the weird thing is that it looked like it would have fit down the toilet, too. So I don't know why they didn't just flush it. I don't know. Guys, the parking lots in Dollywood were horrible. We went recently, and the parking lots in Dollywood were horrible. It took us 2 hours to get a space. Okay, we drove in, I kid you not, an infinity symbol for 2 hours waiting for a spot to get open. We were in the handicap section. So I could only imagine, like, how horrible it was for some other people. And not to mention the fact that there was this, like, one speaker, and it was blaring, and we drive past, and it was playing this, like, uplifting guitar music, and I'm like, this music, it does not match my mood right now, okay? The only reason we got a spot was because this very nice family ended up giving us their spot. We paid them $20 because they were leaving and coming back, and we actually saw them in the park later. They were very nice. Thankfully, the rest of the days weren't nearly as bad, but that was a horrible first impression. Guys, I have a story. Earlier this year, on Halloween Day, I embarrassed myself. Because on Halloween Day, I was with my theater troupe, and we were all wearing Halloween costumes. Or, well, I wasn't, but most kids were. He was dressed, he had this guitar, and he's wearing like a sweater and jeans. And I thought that I recognized him. I was like, dude, I feel like I recognize who you are, but it's on the tip of my tongue. And I'm standing here, and I told him not to tell me, and I'm like, are you Weezer? Like Rivers Cuomo? And he's like, no. And he's like, and I'm like, I know there's someone who wears a sweater like that, and he's like, I'm Kurt Cobain. And I'm like, oh. And then he's like, yeah, Kurt Cobain's a rock. I'm like, I know what Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. Guys, I let my dad down so bad a couple days ago. So, we have goats, and we have this goat house, and the way goat houses are, they're just a cube with one wall open. And it's really cold, so we were going to get, like, a piece of plywood to mostly cover up that wall to protect him from the cold. And he was having me hold up a 2x4, and I'm holding it up so he can, like, put a nail into it. And I get something in my eye. It's a piece of wood, but it gets in my eye, like, under my eyelid. And then I panic. I drop the piece of plywood. And it's like, what happened? I said, my eye. He's like, dude. I mean, I'd be mad too. But it by defense, like, I'm very sensitive about my eyes. So, I don't know. Guys, can I tell you something? It's a new YouTube update I cannot stand. The fact that they are now showing members-only videos. Look at this. I'm on the channel page of Slyboy right now. Look at this. You can see members-only videos on his channel page, even though I obviously cannot access them. That's ridiculous. And it's not even just on channel pages. I've seen some of these on the home page where I obviously cannot access them because I'm not a channel member. And now the YouTube, like, videos tabs has a thing where you can filter out members only. Why would I do that? Because I cannot see members only. I shouldn't see them unless I have members only.